Hello, my friend. What is reality today? The reality of mind. People seek reality. People seek what's real. People are wandering in the wilderness of deceptions, wishes, expectations. What is reality? What is reality? The reality of mind. How can we come around doing stuff if we don't know the reality? The reality of mind. Sorry for that. People are people are somehow obsessed with reality without being so very conscious about it. I don't think people does really mind, but come to acting, doing, being. We seek reality deep down, high up. How can we come around doing this stuff, what we do, without minding the reality? You see, the reality is what we see in our perspective mind. The reality is, it's, you see my picture there? It's moving around inside of this bottle. So you see the reality. We can talk much about reality, but it's all a kind of a picture in there. Because when we act, when we do, when we try to think, try to contemplate and reflect, we act on, in order to do that, we act on a perspective of reality. I was going to talk a little bit about people's view on others that are colored or filtered by the perspective of others. When you are interacting with someone or looking at someone or observing, so to say, you can have an opinion that is based only on your impression. Then you ask around and you get quite a different perspective from the get-go. How come that can be? Because it's by introduction. I have thought a little bit about introductory popularity. I think the main source of why people getting very popular indeed is by who and in what way they are introduced. If anyone, as they say of someone, is the world's best, and that is deliberately portrayed, because who is this about? How can people say that he is the world's best? Yet we see more and more on tubes and videos who really fit that description. It's only the well-known that is also portrayed as the world's best, about maybe a few handful of maybe artists or whatever well-known. But what about all the others that haven't been presented and will never be? Because here in Sandefjord you have a art gallery, and I asked, because I have done some art too, I think if I exhibit some of my pictures that was thrown, it's hard to talk about because it was a little bit unjust that it was thrown away. I felt that was a discriminating of a major degree, because I told a pastor here in Norway, now Arild Edvardsen is coming. Now you do a lot of fuss around this guy, Arild Edvardsen, and he is maybe not only the most known Norwegian preacher, but he is also somewhat very well known in other places too. So he did a lot of, we have to do this and that and all this kind of stuff. And I reacted very badly because it was all this fuss around just a human being. So that's it's kind of obvious, but people doesn't really care about it or really see it. But it is very obvious that if they want to if I told him, why can't why don't you put up pictures about me? Or it was obviously a joke, but it was I need to say it's a joke in order to get the message through. Well, I maybe have needed or more wanted than needed to be exposed in a way that was, because when you really listen to those big guys up there, that is portrayed as the big guys up there, it really comes to show that they are just ordinary human, and some experience I do have about them because I maybe wanted to talk with them, and they seem to be very naive, very careless of other people. Yet they were very popular indeed, and all this kind of stuff that they were known for, of loving and caring. But I saw some of them really made hell broke loose. I heard about TV pastor in Norway, very well known in that regard, and some friends that I met in Israel told that when he wasn't very satisfied with how much attention he got so furious. So he slapped around and jailed and made a big fuss about he should be in the focus center of the video and all this kind of stuff. That how can they be portrayed as the holiest of holy, yet they are mean and very bad with other people? So why worship? People tend to go to the degree of worshipping the specific persons. They may be trapped in an idea that they are worshipping God, but what they do is acting as everybody else when they are where they are in order to worship God. So you see all this popularity, this kind of show, this kind of exhibition in front of everybody, as I do here, but I do it in a so strange way maybe, so people doesn't really think much of it. People may think that this crazy man, I heard that on Facebook. I saw it written, at least, that you are Gjesta. What can I say about you? You have it's I make a laughing stock out of myself in their eyes. But if I was put on a certain media that was, Ole is doing really good, and maybe I got a hint or two of something I shouldn't do or something like that, I would be regarded as the most whatever on YouTube. So you see, the reality is we are colored. Our perspective of persons or the world around is so filtered, it's so perverted that you can't really know what really to believe. The real essence, you are not really serious if you can't see beyond the furnace, the skeleton, the image, the nice faces, you are really superficial if you can't see beyond the TV camera, beyond this mask I have on a tube. If you are not if you are that prejudiced that I am whatever people are saying is a matter of itself. If you are just believer of hearsay, as they say in a juristic term, not therm, but a term, juristical term, you are very superficial. If you just go by the nice face of someone, the voice of someone, or the specific words of someone, if you can't see beyond the imagery, you are just a superficial hearsay listener. You are just a follower of certain ideas that you are impregnated with. You are so colored, you are so bleak, you are so you have no characteristic of yourself. You are just listening to what others are saying. You see, the flock, they are talking about the flock immunity regarding this flu that have been going on for 2.5 years now. Flock immunity. And let me just put verbs in my mouth. This is kind of a flock painting. That you need to have certain opinions, that the reality is as the leftists are saying. It's all true. Look at how perverted the truth about God and creation is according to the leftists, the atheists that want to paint the world as we should believe in it. They are even more religious than the religious people. The religious people can accept that you don't believe, because some are limited. But the leftists can't handle the pure fact that there is a dispute against the lack of God's God existence. They are disputing the God existence to the degree that if you say, I believe in God, I believe in the Creator, I believe in intelligent design, they can't bear themselves. If you are talking about whatever, especially Israel, they have their own truth, and it's portrayed in a so cynical way that even the whole country Israel should be demolished, deinstalled. It's they are so crazy about Jews and so on. So the reality, my friends, is just a perspective. It's colored by what people say, what media say, and media here. According to some Jews, the media is the snake, because if you really listen to what the media says, it's a slippery tongue. It's lies and deceits. It's what's there to catch, and whatever media are talking about, it's only lies and deceits. How can we see through all this world of realm of lies? How can we see through the furnace, the surface of things that is portrayed in a way that we don't really recognize ourselves? I don't know. How can we know when we are so lost in a wilderness of lies? I can't say, because it's all colored, it's all filtered, it's all when I get into a certain society, I feel so odd because I have not the kind of education, I have no credential, I have no status, I have no this and that. I feel so odd. And people that are into that kind of connection, they have lost the connection with their brothers, their sisters, their next of kin, their themselves. I think they lost the contact with themselves because they are all in for this kind of way of being that goes with everybody in that clan. But I'm not bribed into that. It's kind of a bribery, don't you see that? Today is a judging day, so I have to put words in my mouth again. It's a duty. It's not only a hobby. It's a duty. I'm well paid for it by the government. So people that are into that kind of thing, that kind of, who is preaching on the podium, who is on the media, who is there, and ask yourself, would you be there if you needed to be bribed? If you need to bribe yourself up the stages, up the ladder? I can do this with a simple click on my computer, and I can do the verbs as I want. It's only the fear-mongers that are from those clans that need you to silence yourself, that you are not as bright as they are, and they have every right. And my nephew was talking a little bit about this PhD, or people that are teachers. So listen well, you teachers. You have an attitude. I totally agree with him, because when I was growing up myself, I learned that teachers are a standard of itself, and some teachers need to be even higher degree of a teacher. I don't know what it's called, lecturer or principal or what. And it seems not to be for the student. It seems to be only for themselves, to boost their own image. How come it's that corrupted? How come that they are so high up in their own imaginary know-how, that they know it all since they have this education? I felt something like that when I was doing my schooling, that I was a little bit above everybody else and learned how to learn. And I had this tendency. I know, I am honest. Do you think I'm deceiving everybody here? I'm talking the truth, like a rolling stone. So I got this tendency to believe that I could figure out things, and I think that my kind of brilliancy was maybe developed in those time that I saw some ability that I had. I don't believe that it's that brilliant, but it's nice to know that you can know, and you can get to understand things, but it doesn't make you any superhero or above everybody else, because simple people I like to be simple people, but it's hard because you are met with so many prejudiced people. Admire me for whatever reason they have. They are admirers, and I can't get them far. I can't get them far away enough so that I don't hear any, oh, you are this, you are that. I hate that kind of bribery. I don't love it. I hate it. Yet I maybe want it sometimes, as I said in the early stages of this speech. I maybe some want, but I don't really need it. So there is a song that maybe you will get what you need and not what you want. So the reality, my friends, is so twisted, it's so perverted. So you have to go by yourself. You have to trust yourself, your own brilliancy. Know by me that you have your own brilliancy. You who are listening to this, don't mind all this kind of you are looking up to people because they have this and that education. I told my nephew that all your qualities, your education, all your experience is there, yes, to serve a purpose, not to be bribed nor brag about. It's you can be proud of it, of course, but it doesn't really matter if you are proud or not, as long as you can use it for the well-suited purpose. And as I said here earlier on, in some way, that we are tested. Some are tested more, that understand things better than me, that is better than me in some regard. Maybe I shouldn't envy them like that, because they are put to harder tests. And that is kind of obvious too, because if they know things better than me, obviously they have a need to do it, a need to know better, because they are using it in a more profound way or in a more qualitative way. So you see, the reality is not easy to come around, and if you can leave out the bribery, leave out all those that admire you or hate you or knock you down in some way. Listen to your own heart in those times when you are admired or slain down. You may feel good, you may feel bad, but that doesn't really matter. The reality is you. The reality is in the now. The reality of the frame of time. So be at peace with your own quality, your own personality. Find yourself. Even if you have to end in the gutter, my friend, with the so-called pigs, there, and only there, among the pigs, you will see yourself in a more clear way. That's the purpose of the pigs. The pigs make you see yourself more clearly. And you start to ask yourself, do I really belong in this environment? So that is the question, my friend. Do you really belong in that environment you are in now? Are you corrupted? Are you real? Are you for real, my friend? Get real. We want to hear from you next time. And I wish you all a good Sunday and much blessing from me and the God. I wait.